we just have a good rhythm together, you know. He sort of feels me out, I feel him out, and we go for it.
Hello
and welcome to... You like that?
Episode 46 of this 4th season of The Worst Idea of All Time. I am Tim Batt.
And I am Guy Montgomery. Episode 46 means that Tim and I have both just watched Sex and the City, the movie, for the 46th time. For you, Tim, an early start.
A very early start. I won't lie to you, Guy. This was a 2-bite at the apple situation, and I tried so hard off the back of feedback from you last episode to focus on drilling down, bringing some respect to the game, bringing some discipline to this craft, and just really entering into the screen. So it was a full immersive headphone-on experience. I tried to remove every other bit of stimulus around me, so I was watching in pitch blackness on my cell phone, just rammed up to my face, and I watched 45 minutes last night. I tried to go as long as I could, and my eyes were just getting ever so heavy, so I had to fall asleep, and then I picked it back up at 6:30 a.m.
So still a pretty serious undertaking.
Yes.
I couldn't help but notice, and this is only because I had communicated with you.
Yeah.
That after telling me that you were going to be engaged in, I'm gonna read the actual response out because the language was quite serious. You said,
"Yes,
okay, don't text me now because I'm attempting a very focused watch of the movie." Yeah, and then I would say about 40 minutes from then, while the movie was definitely still going, at the top of my Twitter feed, what should I see? But Tim Batt just absolutely. Launching an assault on the hardworking people at Apple.
I take no issue with the employees. It's the top brass. But no, you did right. It broke the spell. You sent me a message and it broke the spell, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, damn it!" I got pretty far in though. I'd say like over 3/4. I think about 80% done.
It's impressive.
The spell was broken. It was fucking hell, man.
I'm in no position to cast judgment, Tim. I was ill-disciplined. I would go so far as to say naughty. If I'm being completely honest, I think I was a little bit naughty. And I'm gonna take it very seriously next week. But I'm impressed that you did 3/4. I did think it was funny that you told me that you were concentrating very hard, and you all caps very, and then. You went out there and you just had to share some opinions about what's going on in the world of tech.
I did mean it, you know, like I was really trying to just focus in, just get in there, you know. And it's right for you to call me out on it. That's correct. It's the truth. It's the truth of the matter, and the truth trumps everything. But no, you know, got pretty far.
Yeah, I respect that, and I'll endeavour to do the same. I actually got my times wrong. I finished an hour or like 45 minutes earlier than I thought we would.
Oh, shit, because you warned me. Do you know what? Because you sent me a message saying, "Hey, man, I'm going to be about 15 minutes late, sorry." And that's when I kind of like started to take my foot off the gas, because I had everything timed pretty tightly as well. So it's like fucking zone in. I'll be able to crash course into the shower, throw some clothes on and get in the studio. But when you gave me that leeway, I was like, okay, cool. I'll because I was at the point, Guy, where I was like pausing the movie to reply to people. It was not happening like concurrently. I was like pause, go to Twitter, come back. So I added quite a bit of time.
Okay, well, I that's great, you know, and I'm glad to hear that you've taken my advice on board. I didn't follow it myself, but what about this? What if you and I record? You know, we pledge allegiance to the gals of the United States of America, and we go old school. Yes. I'm talking 2014-15. Yeah. It's an honor system, but what I'm talking about is committed screeners.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about
do it.
Mano a mano.
Yeah.
Is that man on man?
Yeah, I think so.
So what would be man on multiple woman?
Well, I don't even know what language mano is. Is it like Latin or Italian?
I think it's Latin or maybe Spanish. Maybe
I don't think it's Spanish. I thought I knew the words for man in Spanish.
Oh no, here we go. It's Spanish for hand to hand.
Oh, hand to hand. Fucking there you go. There you go. Okay, well, we are going hand to hand with the gals. That's not gender specific.
Yeah.
Here would be my ideal situation. I would want to put myself in a float tank and just like glue the screen to the ceiling of that, so I have absolutely no stimulus. But maybe I should fucking do that. Although I don't know how you would do sound, because if you wore headphones, I think it'd short circuit in the water.
Yeah, I notice a very subtle ploy to get out of watching Sex and the City ever again for the rest of your life there, Tim.
Electrocution.
Yeah, electricing the float tank. I'm excited that you're committed. I'm committed too. It feels good in the moment because I'm atoning for a misdeed, but I know as soon as business time rolls around, I'm going to hate myself for going on the record with all of this, but I like that.
Again, I got pretty close. This time, but I did fuck out. Flamed out.
The best,
hey, can I tell you something?
The best, they're all disciplined, Tim. They all show levels of discipline, and this is what took us to the top. Was we were some hardworking and disciplined boys, and we're really sagging off, aren't we?
I know, and if you look at the ratings, it shows. Well, I came into this.
People can tell.
Yeah, they can. They can sniff it out. I came into this watch with a lot of pep and verve because I was fucking recharged from being in Christchurch. Shout out to Christchurch. Spent the long weekend there. It's fucking lovely. Christchurch is all happening. It's your hometown, Guy.
Yeah. It's where I spent my formative years. Well, I'm happy to hear that you were so inspired by the Garden City.
It's looking great. I'm just saying it's looking great. I was hanging around in the CBD and things are really fucking popping off. So go spend your bucks there, everyone.
I'm growing suspicious of this. You did a big Instagram... I've been all over your social media. You did a big Instagram post encouraging people to go and visit the Christchurch CBD and spend a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
And now I start trying to talk to you ostensibly about Sex and the City.
Yeah.
And you tell me and anyone listening, one person who's got a bit of cash to throw around, to be fair, the same thing. Head on down to Christchurch and spend your hard-earned.
Yeah. Well, for our libertarian listener, tax isn't going to solve anyone's problems. What is going to solve it is the market. So I need to direct the market flow into Ototahi, which is the original name for Christchurch.
Okay, well, I'm glad that it inspired you. I'm back in New York, and you'd think that would inspire me to spend some concentrated and focused time and energy on the ladies, but I could not give two hoots what they were doing. I did give two hoots about and read the essay Manolo Blahniks and Monogamy, Sex and the City's Standard Societal Scripts, written by Michaela. Oh, God, she sent the pronunciation of the surname, and I believe myself.
I can track it down while you give me some notes on it, eh?
Well, can I just say, it was so refreshing to experience a fresh set of critical and, I'd like to say this, concentrated eyes on Sex and the City. This is a real focused affront on the movie.
I should think so. It's an academic text.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like that might be part of what's been missing from my life.
Academia.
It was just so clearly laid. It was like, hey, this movie is bad, and here are like inarguable reasons why.
Is it time for Monty to head back to university?
It might well be. It was just nice to see academic language used to articulate problems that I've been taking consciously and subconsciously with this movie for, the better part of half a year now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find. There's a really good little block of text here.
Well, now we're both
Carrie's
searching for things. This will
no. I've got mine. Mine's in front of me.
Okay,
Carrie's childish behavior, which is this convention is not all that surprising when attention is paid to the ways in which Carrie's continuously portrayed as being infantile and helpless, despite being the main character in a movie all about women. Yes. And then she just lines up all the ways in which Carrie's treated like a child.
Okay.
Big repeatedly refers to her as kid, which can be ignored as an affectionate way to refer to someone who is your junior, but becomes more alarming when referring to someone you view in a sexual context. There's one scene in which she is teasing him about writing his vows and sits on his lap, where he begins lifting her off of his knee, saying, "Up, up, up," the way one would to a small child.
Yeah.
Beyond her romantic life, Carrie exhibits other childlike behaviors. She's spoon-fed in Mexico, throws her phone into the ocean in a tantrum-like fashion in order to avoid dealing with her messages, and is looked after by her maternal assistant Louise. The infantilism of woman is nothing new, but it was disappointing to see in a movie where women are at the forefront driving the plot. There's a very clear and articulate sort of deconstruction of the storylines pertaining to Miranda, Charlotte, and Carrie. And then there's this sort of reasonably substantial... Yeah.
Sorry, just while we're on this bit about the infantilization of women, can we throw down with something that I'm just going to insert a thought that occurred to me this watch, which I haven't had in a previous watch. And also it's kind of interesting that it hasn't come up with any of the guests yet. But it is just taken as read during the scene in Mexico when Samantha is giving Miranda heaps about having a bit of bush, that having bush is bad. It's just taken as an absolute given. Like, there's not, like, no character not even Miranda herself represents any kind of alternative to this apparent truism that a close to bald vagina is the only way to go. And
my man,
that sucks.
My man, can I say this? Not my words. This idea is stated more blatantly when the girls are in Mexico and Miranda's sporting a bathing suit along with a healthy amount of pubic hair. Samantha is horrified, mocking her and even insisting that she'll make her an appointment at the spa without bothering to ask if she wants one. Miranda tries to say that when you're married, your priorities shift, but Samantha's quick to compare her fluffy bikini line to the smooth one of Golden Girl Charlotte. You'll have to accept that Charlotte's sort of been laid out as having this ideal life earlier in the essay. Miranda's furious and accused them of saying she deserved what she got for letting the sex go out of her marriage, and she storms off, ignored and unfollowed by any of her friends. The importance of her pubic hair to her friends is concerning because what one chooses to do with one's own body hair is nobody else's business. And there's an assumption that the presence of pubic hair means that sex is an impossibility due to societal sexual conventions. The same very point.
I threw two hands in the air when you started that, and victory. That's so good. Fuck, I am here for this essay. I'm going to print it out and read it over a coffee. I'm going to go for a walk and read This is so nourishing for a film that we've seen so many times. I absolutely know what you're talking about now. It must be so satisfying. It's like reading about a hobby that you have, but this hobby's been thrust on us.
Yeah.
And someone really getting into the weeds of it.
Do you know, it's the same thing I do with sports. When I watch a sports game, I can't wait to read all of the articles that are discussing said sports game. It's the same for people with movies, I suppose, but it's hard to dig up relevant and, academically critical text of the Sex and the City film, especially this late in the piece. So it is a genuine joy, and I think you're going to get a real kick out of it. So thank you so much to Michaela. I'm still too terrified to get your last name
Throw
wrong.
some letters in the air, Guy. What are we dealing with? Is it just a lot of consonants?
It almost rhymes. Michaela Madraga is what I've got. Madraga. Madraga. And I would grade that essay A+.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for writing it and sending it. Fuck, that's good. I want to read that. Yeah, I've I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but I've always had a weird little niggling thing in the back of my head about our insistence on women shaving, particularly the armpits. Because I think, what is that about? Is that purely an infantilization thing?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't think everyone's quite as committed as to making sure women shave their armpits as you, Tim. And
I insist on it. You know this about me.
Yeah, it's important to me that we bear that in mind. But I'm glad to hear that you're open to changing your...
Not changing, critiquing, Guy. There's a difference. My viewpoint on this will not be budged, but I will look at it.
Yeah. Well, I respect that somehow even more. That you are aware that, this could come under fire and you stand behind it while open-mindedly sort of yelling about it.
I feel like I'm being villainized, and I've taken a lot of notes to get us off this path. So, They are. Here's my first note that I've written down from today's watch / last night's watch. They are such dicks to the guy who greets them at the resort in Mexico. He is
unbelievable.
He's so good too. He totally hits the mark in terms of being like cheery, upbeat, welcoming, and friendly without being too much. You know, like he's got his body position just right. He's got his proximity to where they are just right. He's got 2 drinks there. He's not all up in your grill. He's fantastic. He's doing a truly A+ job, like Michaela did. And the girls are such fucking bitches to him. And there's 4 of them. And it's kind of like, well, if one of the party are a little terse, a little short with someone, you usually rely on some other members of the pack to pick up the politeness slack. But no one does. The closest he gets to a respite from the rudeness is Samantha just being all quippy and confusing with him when he quite rightly says, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. I was expecting Mr. and Mrs. Preston. And then she says, oh, honey, you'll be waiting a long time. And then taps him twice, very condescending manner on the shoulder and says, we'll talk. And then grabs a cocktail and heads inside. Just tell him now, Samantha.
I think I've brought this up before because it leads immediately to, you know, some fallout that they then are sort of like, hey, you got to get on top of this honeymoon stuff. That they have, he's rightfully prepared the honeymoon suite for the honeymooners.
Yeah, which was booked.
Under the honeymoon couple's name. No, I totally agree.
So let's continue going on that. Sorry. Go.
Well, what does Charlotte do? Because Carrie sort of blows by. She's given a pass by everyone because she's moping that she got jilted. I know that Miranda says, have you got Wi-Fi? And he says, yes, and she just blows right past him. She can't wait to get on the Wi-Fi.
She even says it rudely. It's a rude thing to say, and she even says it rudely.
I know. But it's meant to insinuate that she's a working woman. You know, she's already expressed doubts about going on this trip because of her responsibilities at the office. It's rude, undeniably, but they sort of qualify her rudeness. I mean, the assumption from all of them is that this guy knows or cares that none of their lives are going exactly as they want right now, which is, I imagine hotel staff, especially at nicer places, would have to deal with this sort of, you know, rudeness and insolence all the time. But
that's no kind of pass, though. If anything, that's even more reason to be nice to them, eh?
Yeah, it takes no effort. It costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing.
But what does Charlotte do?
Charlotte, I think, just kind of rolls past them. I mean, she's a confirmed racist who hates Mexicans anyway. We know this about her. That's why she keeps shitting herself being addicted to pudding pops the entire film.
Yeah. So
in some ways, you know,
she is racist, but she has the good grace to internalize all of her racism.
Yes, exactly.
And take it out on her own digestive system in the form of unrelenting punishment.
Yeah. Is it a kindness too, if you are racist, to keep your mouth shut? Is that some form of a kindness?
Yeah, I'm glad you call that the question. It's almost an impossible question to answer because in a way, it is in that you're bottling, you know, the worst of yourself and maybe working on it away from other people, maybe not. But in another sense, it's not because then, you know, she moves through society without restrictions because of her dirty little secret, which is she cannot get enough of these goddamn chocolate puddings, and she is not going to roll the dice on Mexican food at a 5-star resort in Mexico.
Truly unforgivable behaviour.
There is some. It's not really justice, is it? But there is some. I suppose that's why we're meant to feel some level of excitement that she shits herself.
No, because we're not supposed to interpret her as a racist. I think we've managed to crack Da Vinci's Code on this because really of
hide that from the boys.
Because of the 2 films, we've seen her how she behaves in the Middle East, and now we've seen her in Mexico. So she's just a confirmed xenophobe all round. It's not a particular set of people; it's just anyone who's not herself.
Yeah.
So to continue this BuzzFeed listicle in terms of all the the Valentine's night dinner where Miranda confesses to Carrie finally that she said something to Big, which crashes the entire wedding operation. That the server who comes along, she is a fucking delight. She's so good, and they're so rude to her. And the rudest they are is when they're having a conversation. She comes back. She says, "Do you want another? Can I get you another bottle of wine?" And they interrupt her mid-sentence and both just bark yes. No one says please. No one tacks a please on the end. Nothing. Like, if two people bark yes simultaneously, wouldn't your ears prick up and be like, oh man, we came in pretty feisty there. I think we better take the edge off of that.
It's the same rudeness stemming from the same problem, that all of their treatment of service people are, which is their lives are the only ones that matter. They're the only ones with anyone interesting going. And so the fact that they're, airing their grievances to and with one another means that everyone else can shut the fuck up and get out of our way while we talk about our feelings, because ours are the only feelings that matter.
How much of this is Mattress Pikelet King, scriptwriter extraordinaire, and how much of this is down to the actors portraying these gals?
Well, these are meant to be comedic beats, all of them. Like, or the
True.
synchronicity of Carrie and Miranda saying, ordering the wine at the same time, so both saying bottle and yes, is meant to be like, look at how close this friendship is. Look at how unbreakable this bond shared by these two women is, that they even, they go out for a meal and they're so attuned to one another's habits that they order exactly the same thing in exactly the same rhythm. But that's its the primary job of that particular bit of dialogue. But yeah, I mean, truthfully, it just outs them both as being, it's the litmus test, isn't it? It's like going out for a meal with someone and playing them at Monopoly is what you're meant to do before you decide whether or not you're going to spend a lifetime with them.
I have heard that before. People's treatment of service staff is supposed to be a big flag for how they are. What was the other one? Monopoly, you reckon?
Well, yeah, Monopoly is just like a mirror revealing the ugliest version of anyone.
How are you at Monopoly, Guy? What's your approach?
Honestly, not invested enough. I don't think I've ever finished a game.
Does that bode well for you in a relationship, or extremely poorly, do you think?
I think it bodes poorly for our shared savings account, but it bodes well for me being bulldozed and agreeable.
Oh, Guy.
What do you think?
I think it's a good sign, actually. I think you're taking it. Well, there's a few ways to take it, but I think the way I would interpret that for you is you're taking Monopoly for what it is. You know what I mean? Some people take Monopoly for what it's not, which is like real financial and real estate transactions are taking place, and suddenly words are being exchanged and arguments are getting heated, and you forget that what you're actually doing is spending quality time with your mates or loved ones.
Yeah. Does this happen in other games?
Yeah, I think Monopoly's pretty. It's probably the worst one.
Yeah. Well, because also like you are seeing loved ones and people who, you might not want to experience their wrath, or not even, is it wrath? But like no one's going to look particularly glamorous when they make you, forfeit on all of your properties and take all of your money and kick you out of the game that you're playing together. It's hard for anyone to do that gracefully.
There's something about the technical and financial aspect of it, that is just like, it's hard to look good doing it.
It's punishing. But no, that I mean, I'm right there with you. And the way that they're rude in Mexico and the Middle East is, it shows that not only did the characters learn nothing, but the people building the movie did learn nothing between the two, that this behavior is abhorrent, because they're mirror images of one another.
Horrible to watch.
Their treatment of waitstaff in Sex and the City, the movie, and Sex and the City 2. Sexy, too city.
Let's let's be fair to Mattress Pikelet King and look at ourselves, though. I think there is a little bit of a cultural aspect to this, because Kiwis are, how do you say? We're very, we don't like to bother anyone in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. To the point where we feel very awkward about people whose job it is doing things, like even performing that role. So, for example, at the gas station, like if there's someone there to pump petrol, we would not be down with that because we're quite consider ourselves quite egalitarian, I think.
Even though in refusing to let someone pump your petrol, you are preventing them from performing their job.
Exactly. It's absurd.
But I think the well, I'm glad you brought this up because there's a pointed example I can think of, which is the way in which we order food when we're out, and Americans do, whereby Americans are very, they speak in imperatives. They say, "I'll take the eggs, and I'll take the eggs and ham or whatever." But we will frame it as though our request of the food that has been listed as available on the menu is going to put out the entire staff of the cafe.
Absolutely.
And we'll say, could I please, could I have, it's a question dressed up in pleasantries and made to sound as though it's going to be totally fine if that's not possible.
We will grovel. We will absolutely. And God help us if it's actually available,
Yeah.
Could I please get the eggs Benedict and swap out the bacon for salmon? It's like, that's fine. It's like, thank you so much. It's like, it's totally fine. We do this, every minute of the morning on a Saturday. Thank you so much. I cannot express to you in words what this means to me and my breakfast.
Really means a lot. The truth lies somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, the truth does. I think Americans are closer to the truth because they're more efficient. But I think through the Kiwi lens, we read it as rude. But they're just like, I'll get ham and eggs and M&Ms, please. And the wait staff are like, cool, great, done. There's no you don't have to do the dance. The New Zealand dance, it must cost our economy so much money, It's so inefficient.
There's dance in here. That's why everyone's so stressed.
Everyone's
America? So stressed here. Yeah, in New York specifically, I think.
What's the dance
you see
in
someone
New York?
in New York who is like, who looks like they're 90 and they'll be like 35.
What's that person's life, Guy? Who are you describing?
I was describing, someone who everyone's in a rush. I don't know what they're off to do, but whatever everyone's doing, it is the most important thing. And let's not forget, the characters in this movie are a byproduct of this. But nothing that they're doing is particularly important. We don't even know what Miranda's working on all the time.
Well, I was going to say,
books.
Miranda's job seems important. She's a high-powered lawyer.
What kind of lawyer? What is she doing?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. I'm guessing, though, based on the clues we get, it's commercial law. The worst of all laws.
What is commercial law?
It's like business law. That's the extent of my knowledge. You have like criminal law where people have fucked up, broken the law, and they're going to go to jail or something. So you've got to either prosecute them or defend them. And you've got property law where it's all about deeds and titles and bullshit. And then you got commercial law where it's all like fucking mergers, and I assume tax probably falls close to there.
I googled what kind of lawyer is Miranda Hobbs, and the Wikipedia says Miranda Hobbs is a career-minded lawyer.
Oh man, that's fucking great. What kind of comedian are you? I'm actually I'm a jokes first comedian. I'm a career-minded comedian. Fuck man, that's epic. What is the alternative?
To what?
A career-minded lawyer.
A sort of an indifferent lawyer, an ill-disciplined and uncommitted lawyer.
That's a cool concept. I like that. I like someone who's gotten into law, which is usually seen as a pretty high stakes and high commitment area of vocation, and just having a very laid back attitude to it. Just dabbling.
You're describing our friend.
Yes, our friend. Yeah, that's true. Actually, he is a picture of a human as well. God, he's doing it right. runs
a man
constantly.
who was so indifferent to one law job that he wrote an anonymous letter of resignation and just left it on his desk and never went back.
That's fucking cool.
An undated letter of resignation.
Hey, wait, we definitely shouldn't say that. I feel like we're torpedoing his potential career. Do you reckon people will put the pieces together if we just use the name? Hope not.
Can you bleep the name?
God help me. God help me. I hope I remember to.
His name is and he's currently looking for work in Christchurch, New Zealand. He has a child on the way. You've got to help him out. He works well by himself and
Monty,
in teams.
I've got more notes. You want to hear them?
Big time.
Here's something I took issue with this watch, guy. Carrie's narration being hyper literal. When they're in Mexico and it's before the pants shitting scene or sequence, she says, just for a moment, Charlotte forgot where she was and opened her mouth, is what she does say. That's what's actually in the film. You know what she should say? She should say, Charlotte forgot where she was and opened up to Mexico, because it's like at least a little touch of metaphor. We're seeing that she opens her mouth. We get that side of it. Maybe like broaden out what you're saying, because also the narration is supposed to be a reflection of what's written in the book by Carrie, an author. And she's just describing exactly what's happening. There's no poetry. There's no art to the words used. She's just literally describing the scene that we're watching unfold.
It's a dangerous game, that voiceover, because if you think about Carrie's voiceover specifically too hard, it's very difficult, beyond serving a narrative purpose, it's hard to know how it actually fits in to the world of the show.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad book. They're bad, they are purely narrative tentpoles or like checkpoints, where she will reflect on something that's happened or, just describe her mood. It completely contravenes, rule number one of big money-making Hollywood, which is show, don't tell. It's not big money Hollywood, it's just storytelling. But I'm right there with you, man.
It sucks.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? On my concentrated mano a mano screening of Sex and the City, I'm gonna write down all of her voiceovers and I'm gonna parrot them back to you.
Great.
I've given myself an assignment.
It's so, and it doesn't make any sense from like multiple points of view. Number one, like you say, terrible book, because I think in the TV series they're quite like quippy and artful, at least sentences.
Narrations.
So it makes sense that they're being written for her column. But in this, it's just straight information the audience needs to receive for storytelling. Man, what is going on there? That's like the third ambulance or a cop car I've heard. Big city life.
Yeah, it's just big city life, man. I'll tell you what that is, my friend.
Yeah?
It's the corner of Bushwick Avenue and Grove Street.
Ah.
And while we're all here, actually, I do have Tim Bat's credit card information.
Oh, okay.
So the number is 4...
Could we not? I don't know if I'm going to remember to bleep this out.
The expiry date is 2000.
This seems accurate, actually. I'm not...
The full name on the card is Timothy Bat. And the CVC, that's the security card on the back of it, is...
I'm going to dock your pay for me having to do extra editing on this one. This is bullshit.
Well, do you know, that information is all 100% accurate.
Oh, man, it's terrifying.
It really is.
Got a big old limit on that card. Hey, stay on track, Monty. The roles have been flipped. What kind of judo are you pulling here?
Look, I'm just trying to have some fun with my friend. While I was watching the movie, I was like, I hate this, but I'm looking forward to talking to Tim, which is
nice,
what's
fun? Jokes among pals. You know what's not generally considered fun? Reading someone's credit card aloud with a big stonking limit on it on a podcast broadcast to tens of thousands the world over.
Not fun, you say? Funny?
Oh, it's
Maybe
fun.
a little.
It is fun. I'll give you fun.
Yeah, it is.
I'll
It
give
is
you
a bit
that.
of fun. I did it once with my own credit card details. So
How'd it go?
I don't know. I think people told us that I'd done it. I was ordering a pizza off mic.
Oh, no. What people said was they like. I don't think anyone actually cracked it. They were going like, I reckon if you did the yards, you might be able to extract Monty's card details from this. I think it was a live stream, which is even worse because there's no bleep in that. It's just going out.
It's out there. Well, shout out to anyone who's eating pizza on us.
Guy,
Speaking of which,
imagine-
it's time for a word from our sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Blaze Pizza.
They've
Have they
entered
paid us?
the Carrie verse? Blaze Pizza have not paid us. Blaze Pizza continue their empire building romp through the United States, installing new locations everywhere on a foundation of advertising and promotion provided by the Frosty Fellas. Where's the check? Where is the check?
Yeah. God knows. It's probably in the pocket of some other snide young podcasters who are, now we know what it feels like to be the forebears of hard work as we watch the next generation turn their backs on the ground that we tilled for them to plant podcasts as they prosper. Fuck, my metaphors are off, man.
No,
I feel like I'm
but
off
I feel
balance
you.
this
I
episode.
feel you.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
it feel shit to be both in our 30s now, and you look at new comedians coming up, and you're like, fuck, I'm not. The eyes are off me now. No one gives a shit. I'm not good enough to be famous, and I'm not young enough to be up and coming.
I'm not young enough to be interesting. I have thought about that, and I have. I've altered my thinking, but I've certainly, I have grappled with the fact that I'm no longer up and coming, nor am I a star, and the challenges contained therein. But it's a long career. There's a Simon Munnery once said, "It's not a race; it's a dance." You just keep doing.
What does that mean?
It just means there's no value in looking at these other young comedians and worrying about what they're doing.
Oh, I
Just
see.
keep dancing, baby.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. It's a good philosophy. Guy, imagine being so rich that when your massive fuck-off wedding falls apart and you've been kicked out of your presumably multi-million-dollar penthouse apartment, your go-to is a trip to Mexico and hiring an employee. That's how you deal with the situation.
Wait, not just a trip to Mexico and hiring a new employee, a trip to Mexico from which you just buy back the old apartment you sold at an escalated price.
Yeah, man.
And
This
then you
is how
return to New York City and you think, moving's a nightmare. I'm just going to hire someone from my own imagination to take care of this. God knows where that money wound up.
It's so fun. I reckon she's writing paychecks and just throwing them into a rubbish bin or something. Something weird. Posting them to her own house and just so she can get mail. Very strange behavior.
Actually, St. Louis did provide my shining light moment this week, though.
Gone.
It was a classic sort of cheeky shining light where I was just looking out for something to latch onto. But when she says she's telling Carrie where the stamps and mailing labels are in her house as she's sort of retiring from her post, I think what she needs to pay attention to is the fact that Carrie's already retired from the post. And no one cares about the stamps and mailing labels. We haven't seen Carrie dealing with any mail. The only time we see her near mail is when St. Louise is fucking combing through it for her. Why is this the information that's chosen to be shared?
Sorry, can you say the first bit of that again? What?
I tried to do a cool turn of phrase on the fly. So, when someone leaves their job, you can say they're retiring from their post.
Yes.
And so I was saying Carrie's already retired from her post.
Okay. Okay.
And that she
Okay. I was like, what have I missed here? It's like I've tuned out for 30 seconds and I've missed some key connective tissue to the conversation, but I swear I was listening the whole time.
When I was talking, I could see this turn of phrase, up in lights in front of me as I was walking my way to the next sentence, and I was like, "Oh, should I grab that or should I leave it?" And I was like, "Go for it, run wild." And as I was saying it, I was so loaded with regret.
The hubris.
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't understand it.
Nah. I regret that your gumption hasn't been rewarded, man. I'm sorry. That was real bravery you showed there, and I really feel like I haven't done you.
It's one of my
kind of
favorite
service.
feelings, or not favorite feelings, but it's a feeling I remember so vividly. Just especially both sides of it. When you're younger and you think of something funny to say, and then in a group conversation you don't say it, and then the conversation moves past, and you're like, God damn it! I wish I'd said that. That would have been fucking great. And the much grimmer alternative where you think of something funny to say and you throw it out into the world and the world just says, fuck you, that's not funny. And anyone who tries to be funny unsuccessfully is an enemy of the state that must be punished.
I've heard you talk about this several times now. This was like a real big thing for you, huh? This was kind of like your big, I was going to say your big fear really, like growing up, that you'd throw an offer out there and it would be met with, no kind of appreciation.
I think it was just when I was building the self-confidence to lob those funny suggestions out in front of me. I just remember those times so vividly because as soon as I started doing it and people would laugh, that was like fucking Cocoa Pops, that was the shit that I was like, whoa, give me more.
Cocoa Pops, I like that. Hey, Guy.
Yeah.
I know I've been talking for a while, but can I, because I just wrote down a note for this, because I'm a completionist, I want to get to the end of my notes.
Yeah.
Just wanted to spend a quick hot minute talking about the tech of Sex and the City, the movie. It's pretty wild.
God.
This movie is it 11 years old now? Is it 2008, this first one?
Yeah, it's 11.
We've got multiple landlines. And there's even a corded phone at Carrie's house. Do you fucking remember corded telephones?
Yes. But
they seem like such an iniquity now.
Even in my childhood, they weren't. We'd have two or three phones in the house, say, and one of them would be corded. It would be in a weird corner. It is very dated, but I feel like Carrie uses it throughout the series because
right.
She's got a very long, or maybe I'm imagining this and I'm getting confused, but I'm imagining really long cords and her walking through multiple rooms in her house on the phone with a very long cord.
Is that in the second movie or something? Because I totally have a picture of that in my head too, but it's not in this one.
I don't know.
It must be in the second
what other
one.
Technology caught your attention? Have I told you? I'm sure I have. I'm going to tell you again. This film was the first time that an iPhone was seen on screen.
Yeah. The thing that really caught my attention was actually St. Louise's phone, which is one of those... Fuck, they need to bring them back, because we're also used to phones being exactly the same now, which is just like that stock standard kind of flat chocolate bar, just everything's a touch screen. But she's got a flip up text phone that's got a physical keyboard on it. They were the shit, man. You'd rotate it 90 degrees so you hold it in landscape mode, and then you push the screen up to reveal a keyboard underneath it. Fucking wild stuff, man. There are a lot of interesting form factors coming out at that point in time in mobile phones. We've said goodbye to all of them.
You can see the thinking behind it, but your fingers and thumbs would have to be so pointy at the very end to use that phone swiftly.
I so miss physical keys. I even missed the key number pad, like the 1 through 9 with a 0 at the bottom to text, because you could do it. For us, we were in school, you could do it blindly, and kids can't do that anymore. You got to look at your phone. But I got real good at texting by feel, tactily. We'll go with that. Just on the buttons there.
Yeah, I mean, You sound like you're 90. It's a shame that doesn't exist anymore because I tell you, I got pretty good at it there for a bit.
I got real good at it. Real fucking
To
good.
be fair, my sister and I used to have races. We'd both race to on the same phone. We had the same model. We'd race to send a text to our dad that said, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog."
That's cool.
Yeah, we were a really
That was
cool
a big
family.
thing. I remember that being a big thing though. Like there were a lot of world records at the time of who was the fastest texter and stuff like that. Like that was that's gone away. Good, actually, because fuck, that was really destroying thumbs out there.
Tim, Jonah, have you gotten through all your notes? I just realised the time.
Done.
You're done.
Done.
You haven't
Finished.
talked about your shining light, which you did send through to me.
My shining light is a guy who's in the restaurant on Valentine's Day night, and he's fucking having a good time. And I think he's providing an excellent experience for his dining partner. He looks really jovial, like he's giving and receiving in the conversation, and I'm here for him. I'm all about him.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at the image now, and he's got a big, stupid fucking grin on his face.
He's a good guy.
And you got to respect that. To everyone,
Wait, what's your shining light?
I did it. It was St. Louise saying stamps and mailing labels. You were so distracted.
Oh, yeah, I did get distracted. I didn't realize that was in the casing.
That's
of the
why
shining
I
light.
was grateful for the distraction and the failure of my turn of phrase, because my shining light was piss weak and you didn't latch onto it.
Sweet. Almost got away with it too.
If it wasn't for you meddling listeners. Tim,
Yes.
I say this. If you're listening along in America, please come along to one of our live shows in New York City on Sunday the 23rd of June, Chicago at Sleeping Village on Monday, June 24, Portland at the Clinton Street Theatre on Wednesday, June 26th, or Los Angeles at the Dynasty Typewriter on Friday, the 28th of June. All dates and tickets available at littleempirepodcasts.com. I only watch Sex and the City and talk about it now to get to the very end of the podcast where I get to do my one true passion, self-promotion.
Thanks, Guy. Thanks for watching the movie. Thanks for joining me. And tune in next episode where we will be going mano a mano with the girls and exploring the narration of Carrie Bradshaw. Goodbye, everyone.
We just have a good rhythm together, you know. He sort of feels me out, I feel him out, and we go for it.